Sometimes I like to come down here to the river bottom when it's the evening light shining on the mountain over there. Shadows get long. Birds are chirping. And then I like to come and look at the stones. And every time I start looking, I'm always finding the same pattern emerging over and over again. And I tend to look a lot at these smaller ones and the medium-sized ones, mainly because I don't have any space or the energy to take the big ones back, as examples. But when I'm out here, a lot of times I just forget to even look at the really big ones because, just kind of blinded to them. But I saw this one here, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty cool and familiar shape. And that one's a good 2.5 feet long. And it looks like a sulcus line over there. And that one's I'm not even going to try and turn that one over. And there's this one over here. That one's buried. And that one. And a critic will say, well, this is just how rocks erode, they bump around and they just take on this shape. And I'm sure that happens to some of them, but these rocks, while they might be smoothed out a bit, they're unbroken for the most part. And as soon as there's any kind of a crack or a fracture in the rock or on the outside of the rock, you can immediately see it. And there's another rock I was going to show you. Where was it? It was over there. Yeah. Got wrapped up in talking. I forgot the location of the one I was going to show you. Here's another one. Hey, look at that. A sulcus line. And a curved underside, and another the double sulcus, which is on the backside. You can see that in the thumbnail of a video I posted day before yesterday. Or no, yesterday. Anyway, that's a beautiful one. There's just so many of them, and like this is broken off here, but if that was unbroken, that would look suspiciously like one of these heartstones, probably. And the one I was going to show you has now vanished. Oh no, here it is. Didn't realize how far I'd walked. So you can see there. And then my eyes immediately go to this one, right there. So this is possibly the interventricular sulcus. And then if we look at it from that side, the indentations at the top. So that's pretty interesting. I'll try and... Oh, there's another. See, we're just not taught to recognize these kinds of things in the stones. And like I said, I come out here all the time, and wow, this thing's heavy. Yeah. Same but different, right? Bigger version. And yeah, I come out all the time, and I just kind of forget to look at the big ones as I'm rolling around. And I also tend to get snowed in on the heart-shaped ones, and because of all the research and all the looking into them I've done. Well, that one's pretty fleshy, isn't it? And So I also kind of have to pull myself back and try and see with fresh eyes and just look at all of the different shapes to maybe recognize other patterns. But it's interesting that the most distinct of the patterns... Oh, this is... that looks like a kidney, doesn't it? Look at that. That's a big one. So this is what I... like, my second to last video was about kidneys. That's a pretty interesting example. And if I was more prepared, I might take that one back, because that would be an interesting one to slice lengthwise, because then it might be possible to see the renal medulla, which is this kind of it's almost shaped like wedges of an orange. Huh. Yeah, you can't take them all with you, right? There's another one. Look at all the color. If I dunk that in water, and you can see here, something has come hard. I believe that something hard, like a rib, has come to rest up against the heart as it's undergone the petrification. Either that, or it could be a chunk is missing, but it doesn't look like it's missing. Oops, sorry. It doesn't look like it's missing from here. So to me, this looks more like an indentation pressed, while it's still soft, on its way to being petrified. Yeah, this is why they call it boots on the ground. You gotta get out and test the hypothesis, right? And you'd be surprised what you might find if you really start digging into things. Yeah, it's truly beautiful evening right now. Yesterday was the first kind of hint of winter on the way. Lots of birds flying in warmer directions. Anyway, take care, everybody. Bye.